Hello and welcome. You're watching Greenwich Live Sessions, and this is your host Umar Khan. I'm back with another show, another guest, and let me introduce my guest for today. Well, he is a proud alumnus of Greenwich University, and he did his bachelor's in business management from Greenwich, and right after that, he pursued his master's degree from Boston University, USA. He also has the experience of running multiple companies as director, which includes Orient Textile Mills, Imran Crown Cork, and Ebrahim Textile Mills. That's not all. He's currently associated with Pakistan Dairy Products as managing director, and he also was the brains behind revamping the ice cream parlors around the city of Karachi by revamping a dip shop, and we all know how much we love a dip shops. And that's not all. He recently, including his other new ventures, just to name a few, Just Baked, The Chocolate Factory, and Homemade Frozen Parathas. Without any further delay, let me welcome Mr. Karim Teli. Welcome to the show, sir. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Imran. Thank you for inviting me over today. And it has been a pleasure coming here. Hope everyone is fine and doing well and staying safe at their homes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you mentioned is exactly right. Everyone should be at home and be safe. That's the most important thing. How have you been spending all this time in quarantine, COVID-19? How has life and work affected you?
Well, work has been affected the most. But since last 2 weeks, as we are an FMCG company, so we've been working since last 2 weeks, and we've been just trying to complete our supplies because it's a festive season. Eid is around the corner, and we've been busy supplying to all the shops and retail outlets our products. So I mean, it's been a challenging situation because if you see, the government of Pakistan has given a time constraint on the supplies and on the markets to be opened. So the markets are basically opening since early morning, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And most of the shops, the journal shops, open at around like 8 to 9 a.m. So our supply times have also crunched in these times. So we'd be trying to supply as much as possible because we don't want our freezers, deep freezers to get empty, and then the general public, they're going to be without ice cream. So I mean, we're trying to do as much as possible in this time, but at the same time, COVID-19 has affected us and many other companies a lot in different ways, because the people who were exporting, their exports have decreased. Countries have delayed their orders, canceled their orders, and the owners of the different textile mills and other industries are worried, because how are they going to pay so much salaries to their workers? Because the companies which are employing around 5,000 employees, 6,000 employees, they're very much worried, because they say we can survive for a month or two, but how are we going to continue this ongoing journey for our business? Because it has become really difficult. And I believe this is happening all around the world. But Pakistan, when at the time when this coronavirus is at the peak right now, and they have started opening up the markets, they started opening up the malls. So we are seeing more difficult times to come in Pakistan right now. If you see America, Europe, their curve has flattened down a bit, and then they started opening up their businesses. But in Pakistan, when we are at the peak, the government announces that everything is going to be opened up and the people are on the road. So I mean, we all fingers crossed right now, and we're just all waiting to see what's going to happen next and how the government is going to perform in this market.
Yes, absolutely right. And as a nation, our population are very excited people. You must remember that the time when the whole thing was there of the cyclones of the named Nilofer, I believe, the cyclone Nilofer.
Yes, absolutely right.
Everyone were headed towards Seaview when the whole beaches were closed. They went into Seaview, got into the water just to see where Nilofer is. So similar thing.
That's the beauty of Pakistan. I mean, that's how our people are. So they are all very excited, enthusiastic about things, and they just don't care about anything. So they say they believe in God. They say if you're going to die, it's going to be when God wants us to go. So, but this is not it. I mean, you have to stay safe. You have to do precaution, take precautions. You can't just go out without a mask and say, I mean, if we're going to die, we're going to die anyway. So, I mean, you have to be a little conscious, a little safe about what you're doing.
Absolutely. And what I believe is the reason we started these sessions is to spread awareness and help people to adapt with the new situations. Just as you mentioned, that things are getting tougher for the businesses and we need to adapt. As looking at USA, Europe, how they have adapted, how they came out of the situation, and even during the lockdown, how they have adapted with their businesses and all. So it's a high time that we also adapt. Many of our businesses have switched to online. They're working, keeping the safety precautions in mind. At the same time, there are, of course, people who are being negligent as well. So while I was introducing you, I was looking at the brilliant things you have been doing over the years. And you've got so much experience from the textile mills, from the FMCG companies. So what we'd like to know from you today is all our students, all the youngsters, all our audience, that how has these different companies been adapting to the situation and trying to maintain a regular flow even with this COVID-19?
Well, the first thing is that people are very worried right now of how the business is going to go in the near future, and especially how to retain your current employees. Because if we're going to lay off so many people, then what are they going to do? I mean, in Pakistan, especially in Karachi right now, what we have started listening is that companies have started laying off people, or either they are retaining them, but they are unable to pay their salaries or bonuses. Because as this is the festive time, if you look at the textile industry on the whole, they rely on heavy bonuses, because before the employees, the labor, they go home for the festive season, the vacations, the companies usually give them a bonus, and they are unable to do so. So what is happening currently is that these people, they don't understand the situation. They just recently in one of the industrial zones of Karachi, people just burned the car, they put it on fire, they just looted the whole factory of textile with all the clothes and the denim jeans and whatever they tried to get out of that. But this is happening, and this is what's scaring the industry owners, that what's going to happen in the near future, because how are they going to survive? Some people, they're trying to lay off, but at the same time, the government is saying, don't lay off, we'll give you a loan on less interest rate. But then again, we have to pay those interest rates. If we're not going to earn, why would we even take that loan to pay off the salaries of the workers? So it's right now, it's a bit critical. At the same time, these laborers, they want to go home, they want to enjoy the festive seasons, they want to go out shop, and the markets are closed. So if the markets are closed, most of them, the middle class and the higher class, what they are doing is they're going towards the online sales. Online sales in Pakistan has been increased drastically in the last 2 years. And specifically, if we just see the coronavirus time in the last 2 months, it has increased by 100%, the online sales. But then again, if you see, our masses is the lower class, which does not have any access to the internet. They want to go to the specific markets to buy the clothes, to buy the jewelry for the Eid festive seasons and all these things, which they are unable to do so. So what are they going to do? How are they going to go out? What's happening is they are retaliating, and they're saying that open the markets and we're going to go out and shop. In that case, the Chief Justice of Pakistan recently announced that you can open up the markets. And I believe what we found out, that in one day in Pakistan, they did a sales of around turnover of around 8 billion rupees in Karachi.
And in Lahore, the numbers was 10 billion in Lahore.
Yes, in Lahore. So, I mean, if you compare that, it's a bit scary, because in a way, you just imagine the amount of people coming out on the road in that specific markets, you're definitely going to get the coronavirus. You cannot run out of it.
You raised a very nice point regarding the people who are the labor workers, the working class, the lower middle class, and the lower class. We have to think about them as well. And we're talking about the issues, we're talking about the problems. We'll try to figure out some solutions where we can figure out some ways of helping them out as well. we've seen that there's lots of charity works, not just by NGOs, but by private organizations, by individuals, and the amount of charity is overwhelming. Like I personally know people who has done charity of millions. So the thing is that even when people are having the trouble, these are testing times. You absolutely mentioned it correctly that people are getting frustrated, they are worried, they do have to react to their empty stomachs. But at the same time, what we need to do is to create such circumstances to, for somehow, some reason, keep people positive. And because these are testing times, this will get over. But the damage has
Absolutely right.
already been done. So what we need to do is to keep people positive, to understand their pains and give solutions, because this thing will not last forever. But this testing time is very difficult for the ones who are actually being suffered.
Definitely, definitely. We have to basically live with it, because in the coming months ahead, we don't see a vaccine that's going to be coming ahead for us. What we see is that the only way we can control this is to stay indoors and stay out of more crowded places. And this thing, the government can only make it happen, and the people of the country, they have to listen to the government, which they aren't doing so right now at the moment. So
Uh,
I hope that they do so, because if you see the current situation in Karachi or all over Pakistan right now, the hospitals are really out of bed. And if they are out of ventilators, then the number of deaths per day is going to increase drastically. And that's what happened in the United States as well.
right.
Now we need to understand, I mean, the masses, the lower end group is not getting this message properly, because this message should be gone through the prime minister or the president to the general public. But at the same time, the prime minister is saying not to worry, be calm, be patient, and you can let the markets open, you could go out, enjoy and stuff like that. But in the heavy populated cities of Pakistan, such as Punjab, Lahore, Karachi, it is critical times there, and people should at least take proper precautions before going out to the market, stores, or to the shopping malls.
Indeed, but at the same time, there are security forces allotted to every markets and every malls where they're making sure that people are following security protocols. Although people are so excited that they don't keep the distance, they're not wearing sanitizer or mask, but then security forces are reacting to it.
Yes,
They are
you
announcing and they are making these things. But then again, as we started and stated earlier, that people over here are super excited. So we need
yes,
to take
they are.
some other measures to make them understand. Coming to your work, how have you adapted? Because as you said, your work schedule has changed, the supply chain timings have changed, the time is limited. Usually in Karachi, in Pakistan, especially in the month of Ramadan, people they tend to go out after iftari, like after 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Karachi, the city of lights, is actually
Yes.
alive. But these days, everything is shut off at 5.
It has
So,
become the city of dark.
yes, I remember Batman from it. But coming back to the things, do you think that the limited time of sales and the limited time of shops has affected business as well, or the business is fine?
No, definitely. This limited the time constraint has limited all the businesses right now, and all the businesses because just understand the fact that the holy month of Ramadan in any country, in any Muslim country, is the month where the sales of all food, restaurant products, and any kind of product increases drastically. It basically doubles. So this is the time of the month where people just go out, they do a lot of shopping, they go buy food. I mean, the outings are always after the iftar time, which is night, evening time, late evenings, and people tend to go out less during the afternoon time due to the hot weather. And
Right.
for businesses, usually what businesses does is they change the timing into early morning to afternoon. And now this is the case, same case here during the month of Ramadan in Karachi. and all the other places across Pakistan, that people are coming into offices in morning time around 8 a.m. and they're leaving at around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And the curfew starts at 5 p.m. But the thing is that if I am employed somewhere, I'm going to work and I get off at around 4 o'clock. I go home, but I only have around 1 hour to shop whatever I want to from
Right.
the market. After that, everything is closed down. Even if you want to go buy a pack of juice, you cannot. And now they have started opening the delivery networks, which they recently did, like last week. So it's been 1 week since that delivery operations has begun. So you can just order the food in till 10 p.m. But still, people have started going out less. People are scared. People are worried. So they started ordering in less as well. So it has affected every industry in different ways. But yes, of course, Ramadan is a month where all the businesses they have like tremendous sales. So
Right.
this is the peak time for the food and restaurant industry, which has
Right.
declined terribly. At the same time, a lot of people do traveling. They go for holy pilgrimage and all, but they aren't able to do that. So I mean, there is a frustration in people's minds and hearts that why aren't the government letting us out? But at the same time, you need to understand how dangerous this COVID-19 is.
Indeed, it is. And let's look at the constructive and positive side. How I look at it, that these testing times where there are lots of problems and worries, at the same time, the world has opened to new opportunities. Like we're open to this online system and we're connected so beautifully globally now that the boundaries and the borders doesn't matter anymore. For example, if we look at the education sector, the universities where people can only dream of getting education from, they can just enroll online and get online sessions, and most of them are free just because of this COVID-19. Similarly, many opportunities have also started and occurred. Similarly, if I look at the positive side, we always say that we don't have time to do this, we don't have time to do that. But this COVID-19 has given us so much time that we can spend with our family. We can do that one thing that we always wanted to do. There's this joke that once my Wi-Fi shut off, and then I spent some time with my family. They are good people. So during this last 60 days, 90 days, I think we've got plenty of time to understand each other, to spend more time, to build our relations stronger, to in other words, make ourselves a better person if we look at it positively. So the reasons we do these kind of sessions is to keep people positive, constructive, and at the same time, we have some viewers who have some questions from you. So I'll
Okay.
include a question here. We have with us Ms. Shazia Nasir, who's the head School of Linguistics at Greenwich University. She says, "How are you, and how are our exports affected, and what is the level of textile exports at the moment, and what do you see in future regards to our exports? Because of course borders has closed, people cannot travel. So what is the situation regarding the exports?"
Well, as I previously mentioned, the textile industry got a huge amount of orders through the Hamtex fair, which happened in Germany this Feb. But due to this COVID-19, all the orders have been delayed and cancelled. Now, this is a tragic incident. At the same time, it's a panic situation for the Pakistani market, because so much labor, so much inventory, raw material has been purchased by the industries, and they have prepared all the goods, finished goods in prepared forms, which they are unable to export it, because the importer, the company which is importing the products, in whatever manner they want, they aren't importing it. They're saying that we don't want the product right now, because due to this COVID-19 crisis, where are we going to sell the products? Companies like Debenhams and Macy's, they're filing for bankruptcies. I mean,
Right.
online sales have started to increase tremendously. The companies like Walmart, they're trying to sell a lot of product online, but the in-store sales, the government have stopped the in-store sales. So due to that, the imports have decreased. Now, what happens to textile industries is like companies, big brands like Zara and Jack and Jones and Levi's, what they do is they buy in bulk. So they order in containers. They supply their inventory to different stores and outlets across the country, across different regions. This is now not being possible due to this COVID-19 in place, because all these shops are closed. All these brands, they don't need so much inventory in hand. So if some brand has ordered 10 containers of particular article or different articles, now they only want one, because they're saying we just want to sell it online. We have one central warehouse from where we're going to sell it. So it's a challenging situation for the textile industries. Owners are stuck with the finished goods inventory. Some have a lot of raw material in hand. Most of the companies has said that they don't want the material right now, or to delay the shipment, or either cancel it. There is a lot of panic in the market, especially in terms of textile exports, and a lot of people are being laid off. I have heard from different companies, different big companies, textile companies in Pakistan have laid off a lot of people, or they have reduced their salaries by 20 to 50%.
Absolutely. And Pakistan is a developing country, not included in the first world countries. First world countries like USA has got such an economic hit that I was reading this article, over 70 banks have filed for bankruptcies, and when they cannot get the hit and get over it, so Pakistan has quite less chances. However, post COVID, I think the whole structure of business, everything is going to change, and we must start all over. And the only thing to keep us going is to stay positive and constructive, because if we just take all these problems and damages to ourselves, I think we won't be able to stand up back again. I'll include more messages from the audience, and we have with us Mr. Junaid Sheikh, and that's a very good one. He says markets are opened by the orders of courts, but courts are closed because of Corona.
See, anything is possible in Pakistan, Mr. Junaid. You can expect anything from the high authorities.
Right. So let's talk about some good times. You know, your student life at Greenwich. Of course, when you're in student life, you have got many dreams, many passions, and mashallah, looking at you now with all the achievements, did you ever plan to do all this, or it just happened?
Well, I did not plan so much, but yes, it all happened with time. And what I did plan was, actually I was involved into IT a lot. I used to be a radio jockey on one of the online internet radio stations, the World Radio FM network, and then I had my own IT business. I used to develop websites and different shopping sites for different companies. But during time at Greenwich, it was a very good time, very memorable time. I still remember those times because that was the time we used to enjoy a lot with friends, and we used to sit in the cafeteria. We had all the time in the world, basically, you could say, to relax and enjoy. And then, but at that same time, we used to think that let's get done with the university and go to the real world and do something there, because we were really eager to work, me and my friends. But then after that, after graduation, I applied for masters in US, and fortunately, luckily, I got admitted to Boston University. And from there, I came. My grandfather basically called me back to Pakistan because we had this family business, a group of companies here. So he wanted me to work in one of his group of companies. So I joined this ice cream division, the food division, and ever since then I've just started growing this business because there was a lot of potential. The Pakistani market has a lot of potential in terms of textile and food. It's still growing in the food sector, and if you see the next couple of years, the FMCG sector is going to boost a lot because there is a lot of demand of different products. People rely on packaged food here. Even if you see milk, because the quality of milk and other products are not so good if you buy from the local shop, local street vendor. They mix water in it. Every milk shop has a different quality. So that's why people started purchasing a lot of prepackaged Tetra Pak products, prepackaged ice creams, chips, because there was a very big gap in the market during those times. I mean, this all happened in last 10 years. So if you see 10 years before, there were only one or two brands of biscuits in Pakistan. Now, if you go to a retail shop or a general store, you see the shelf, it's filled with different type of cakes and cookies and all those sort of small FMCG products. So
Right.
the market is growing, the awareness is there, and in the near future, this is what's going to work in Pakistan.
Right. So, what were the biggest challenges you faced when you stepped into your professional life? Because, as you mentioned, when we're in our university days, those are the days where we relax, we enjoy, we sit, we plan. But practical life is totally different. So, what
Actually,
were your biggest challenges that you faced and you learned from them?
well, yes, whatever we learned from the books, in real life, it was completely different. So
Absolutely.
in Pakistan, people don't go by the books, especially the law, the business law. So, I
Right.
mean, we got to learn a lot. Now we know how it works, and what are the challenges here in the business law, because if you go by the book here in Pakistan, and if you try the physical experience yourself, it's completely different all the way.
Right. So,
And
one has to be street
yes,
smart while having the degree, one has to be street smart and witty.
very true about that. I completely agree, and I believe entrepreneurship is not, you could say, if you are a grader or if you have a 4.0 GPA, you be a good entrepreneur. Entrepreneur needs to have a good mind and good heart as well, because you need to know what the people require, and you need to deliver a good quality product. Most of the people say that if you are good at books, and you'll be good at business, but it's not the case. I mean, you need to be good at both of the things. You need to be street smart as well, because you need to know what your market is. So if anybody wants to start any business, if a lot of people come asking me that I want to start a small venture, a small restaurant, or maybe start a small balloon company, etc. But for that, you just need to first study the market. You cannot just dive in, because diving in right away, you don't know what are the pros and cons of that. So you need to
Right.
study the market. You need to see what you can deliver, and if it is possible, and then you go the way you want to go. So
And
I
I would
mean,
add, I
yeah,
would add few things to it, that you just don't need a single plan. You need contingency plans. You need backup
right,
plans, and you
very
have to
true.
plan for the worst. That what worst could happen. And believe me, once you dive in, what you think is the worst is just the beginning. So
Yes,
one should
absolutely.
be ready for the challenges and
Hmm.
hang in there, because we've seen many youngsters in Pakistan, many people who started off businesses, but they couldn't sustain it for more than 6 months. And that is the whole test of patience and the test of character one faces when they get into business, because it is really challenging, and especially for the first 1 year, you have to be very patient. What would you say on that?
Yeah, yes, very patient, as well as you don't have to get demotivated, because here, a lot of people have been, when you start a venture, a lot of people come in and say, oh, you're not doing this thing right, or maybe you should do this thing, or maybe you should just tweak your business a little bit. But once you have made up your mind, I believe you should not change your thoughts about that thing, and you should go the same way which you have planned to do so, because otherwise your business is going to collapse. I mean, I know a person who just started up with a pizza shop, and then he started selling burgers. Now, I mean, as a consumer point of view, if I am going to that particular shop to buy a pizza, I know if it's good for pizza, and you started selling burgers, then I'm not even going to buy pizza, because I'm going to say, oh, it's just a normal fast food chain. That's why you never see burgers in Pizza Hut and Domino's, and you don't see pizzas in McDonald's and KFC. So, I mean, you need to be clear on what you want to sell and how you're going to go about it, and don't
And
listen to other people.
at the same time, in Pakistan, you see food chains where they're selling pizzas, burgers, fries, kadai, and Chinese all together.
They all want to be an all-rounder, man. They say, okay, if this one ship is not going to work, they're going to go with the other thing. So, I mean, they just want the sales. And
Yes.
this way, there are very few businesses which have success on it. So, I mean, you need to have your flagship product, you need to have your flagship brand, and you need to have your own strategy, and your own mission and vision of that particular business which you are planning to start or planning to do. This is
Right.
very important. People,
Yeah.
they start up their business, but they don't have a vision or a mission for their business.
Very
So I
well
mean,
said. The
so
clarity, the
one should
clarity,
really focus on that.
yes, the clarity should be there.
Yes.
Especially when we're talking about youngsters, we look at the youth today. They're so passionate, they're so energetic, and they want to conquer the world in a single day. But
Very
they don't have the clarity and the proper guidelines. You having such experiences over the years of different um, organizations, different fields, what would you suggest the youngsters who wants to start up a business? How should they consider which field to select, and how should they pursue it? Because everyone has their own uniqueness, everyone has their own strengths, but how can they discover their own selves and their sense of passion?
well. They should first see what they are good at doing. So I mean,
Mhm.
if somebody who's already studying at the university level and they are doing a majors in marketing, I mean, for sure they could easily start up a business, or they should know how. I mean, if they join a creative agency, they can easily make or break a brand. But a person who wants to start up their own business, and if he's doing good in finance, then they should be having a grip in that particular position, so they could easily cater to the business needs. I mean, if one person who's not good at finance and he's starting up a financial institution or a financial website, it doesn't make sense, because sooner or later it's going to have its downfalls if you don't have the right team for it. And
Right.
if you are good at something, then you don't need you don't need that much help in that particular field, and you will be good at that at your own. So I mean, there are multiple angles to look at it. If you are good at something, whatever you are good at it, I mean, even if you're good at playing instruments, you're good at playing cricket, you're good at playing football, you should just focus on that, and then you should pursue your career in that particular field. If you're good at playing music and then you say that I want to work in a marketing company, or I just want to be a graphic designer, you can never do that. I
Right.
mean, if you are good at graphic designing, then I believe you should pursue your career in that particular field rather than playing music, because you're never
And
going to be good at that. Even if you be doing it like for 6 months, you play guitar, you become good, but you're never going to have that energy in playing music while you make some good graphic designing.
even if you choose a career which is not your passion, you will be able to do it, but you won't have the life in you anymore. You won't
True.
have that energy, just as you quoted. So always, all the youngsters out there, all the students who want to pursue their careers, follow your passion, just as Karim
Follow
said.
your passion.
Follow your passion, and doesn't matter if it's music, it's art, whatever you're good at, explore yourself first. Keep the clarity in mind and just go for it. Believe in yourself. That is the most important
And
thing.
you have all the time in the world to do so right now, because it's COVID-19. You're staying indoors. Do what makes you feel right. I mean, now is the time to try different things. Now is the time to do different things, and there is nobody to taunt you or give you suggestions on how to do that thing. I mean, this is a very good time to experience and to gain knowledge about yourself and to learn what you can do best.
Right. So you mentioned that you had a passion for IT. You also did radio programs. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. So, what do you do in your leisure time? Because you've got such a tough schedule, looking at all the
Yeah.
wonderful things you do and manage all together. How do you keep yourself relaxed and composed and energetic and motivated, and most importantly, focused?
Well, this is the most challenging part for, I think, every individual these days.
Right.
I usually work most of the time, but during the time while I'm not working, I come home. I mean, in the evening, and I spend time with my family. I spend quality time with my family. I enjoy. I relax. I just clear up my mind and thoughts, and the next day I go back again in the war zone to work. So I mean. It's any entrepreneur's dream. I mean, to just come back after a long day's work and just to relax his or himself and do whatever they feel like. You just watch Netflix just to calm down, and then so you just prepared for the next day, because every day is a challenging day for me, because when I go down, I go to my office, I have multiple things lined up, multiple challenges, multiple problems which I need to resolve, and for that I need a calm mind. If I don't relax the night before I sleep, so the next day is just terrible. So I mean, the best thing I do is to spend quality time with my family, my daughter, my mom, my dad, have good food, relax, come home, watch TV, as Pakistanis do. I mean, because in Pakistan, there is a joint family system. So they usually all sit together, enjoy good dinner, good lunches together. And especially at the time of COVID-19, this is the best time to spend quality time with your family, because we are all usually very busy in our smartphones, talking to each other, and we don't give time to our family. So I mean, this is the best time you could enjoy with your family, spend time with them. And then also you spend time talking to your friends on calls, or watch TV or watch shows, because these are the things which I mean, in the last 6 months, I was so tied up that I could not watch a single episode on Netflix. But during this COVID-19 times, I've seen multiple seasons of different episodes. So I mean, watching quality content is also very important for your mind's relaxation, and to boost your mind as well. So I mean, a lot of people these days who work a lot, they started watching in good quality content. And I mean, in Pakistan, I heard they started this Ortogul, this Turkish drama, which has become the number one seen show in Pakistan right now, which Netflix published it, I believe, last year or something. It's a 500 episode series.
I'll share a very interesting thing about Ertugrul. Basically, it was launched in 2014. I've seen the whole 5 seasons. It's on season 6 now. One is going on. So the level of enthusiasm of Ertugrul in Pakistan is few days back. This is a very funny
It's
scene, right?
mind-boggling. I mean, I have heard from so many people, even
I'll
from the
tell you the,
lower level person.
yeah, I'll tell you the most funny part. I'll tell you the
Yeah.
most funny part. So, a few days back, I had a lizard in my house, right, in my room, and I was about to kill it with a broom, right? So, the moment
Okay.
I picked up the broom, I felt like, there was this music of Ertugrul running in my mind, and that broom became a sword. And
Okay.
as soon as I killed the lizard, it felt like I have beheaded some Byzantine, the Crusader. So that is the level of passion of Ertugrul in Pakistan. Looking at the funny side, but we do, as you just mentioned, spending quality time. So there is a bright side. For years of work that you've been doing, finally we have got some time to refuel ourselves and get ready for the more testing times coming in front. So
Definitely.
you mentioned friends there. I would like to ask you about your Greenwich memories now before we leave. Uh, Few friends that you made at Greenwich who are still with you. Name bestest of your memories with those
Well,
friends.
there weren't few for sure. There were a lot of friends, and in fact, I mean, our batch was one of those batches that we knew almost everyone. So I mean, we used to hang out a lot. We were a big group of friends. So I mean, we were like 20, 30 guys chilling out, and then there we were like different groups of girls and guys. So I mean, we used to enjoy. I cannot name some people, because then the others who are watching right now, or they're going to watch it later, they're going to say that, hey Karim, why didn't you name me? I was
All right,
one of those.
just share your favorite and most memorable memory from Greenwich.
Well, my favorite, one of my memories were like at the time of exams. I mean, we used to hang out in the cafeterias a lot. So, I mean, we used to have a lot of coffee. I mean, I really used to love the coffee at the cafeteria, because they used to have that Nescafe instant coffee. And
The
so
level of coffee is still the same at Greenwich.
it's still the same.
Yeah, the level of coffee is still the same.
Uh, so I mean, we us friends used to have a lot of coffee, especially me. I mean, it was like during the time of our classes, we used to have two classes in a day, so it was a 3 hour session. So one class was 3 hours. So we used to stay almost the whole day, since morning till the late afternoon at the university. So we used to have around 2 to 3, 4 cups of coffee in a day, and then we used to just chill out in the cafeteria, because after every class we need to refuel our mind and relax our body, and then go back for another class. So I mean, we spent a lot of quality time there. We used to play in the sports room. We used to hang out. We used to go out during after the classes, so we used to go out together for lunches and dinners. I mean, we had a really good time and really good memories at Greenwich. And I mean, I still, whenever I go to Greenwich, I do go see those areas, sit in the cafeteria, maybe have a cup of coffee, meet the old faculty and team members. I mean, Greenwich was a one big happy family for us, because I mean, all the faculty and the admin staff, we all knew each other so well that we could easily go and talk to them very easily. I mean, in different universities, what happens is that if you are studying in a particular university, you don't know the particular admin member, or you cannot go get in touch with the communication department. But here at Greenwich, it was so close, everybody was so tightly close, that even the guy at the communication center knew who you were and what your problem was, and how he could help you out in that particular matter. So I mean, Mr. Rab Nawaz, Miss Shazia, Miss Taira Khan, I mean, she was a wonderful teacher. I remember her, and I still remember, I believe she's in Mauritius right now, but I learned a lot from her. And in fact, there were multiple other teachers there, and Mr. Munir Khan, Mr. Kamran Ahmed, Madam Vice Chancellor Seema Mughal herself. I mean,
you mentioned Madam. I'll just let you know that our Honorable Chancellor is watching us. She has a message for you. And she says, Karim, mashallah, happy to see you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hope you are fine and doing well in this.
I must say that your devotion to your alma mater is very much appreciated. Thank you so much for everything you have done for Greenwich.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
So as you just said, that we are like a family, and whenever we talk about Greenwich, or whenever we step into the doors of Greenwich, all those memories, all those beautiful times, they reoccur,
and come back to life.
Absolutely. Now, as we discuss it, I'm sure that you're getting flashes of your university days when you're having coffee at the cafeteria or playing in the backyard and stuff like that. So that's the most beautiful part of it. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the.
Thank you for having me here. And I would like to thank all the team members at Greenwich, and to you as well, for doing such a wonderful show and for motivating people all across the world about staying positive in this COVID-19 times. And I would like to wish you and Greenwich University all the best for near future endeavors. And I mean, you should maybe start an online learning show or something like that as well, so people could come and learn different things. Maybe start small classes, because this is the next in thing, digital. Due to this online digital stories and all the shows and everything, people have started to really connect with each other. And I mean, this is the next future for Pakistan, online.
Right. And before we leave, I'll put you into a situation, because you mentioned you used to do radio. So what we're going to do, I'm not going to do the extra of the show today. You're going to do the extra of the show. Right?
You're pretty good at it. I mean, it's been a long time since I've done that.
That's what I want. I want you to bring back those radio days memories, and I want you to do the extra. I'll do the extra again, but I just want you to get that thing out of you once again.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all for tuning in today. This is your host, Karim Teli, live with you at the Greenwich TV with Umar Khan, our exclusive host for tonight. And I was the guest, but I'm doing the host part right now. And wish you all the best. Thank you for watching, and take very good care of yourself. Until next time, this is me, Karim Teli, signing out.
Wow. Like you said, you haven't rusted even a bit. So during COVID time, I think you should resume your show.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I did that, but
the few last 10-15 seconds when you once again got that thing out of you, you felt alive. No, you should start doing that again, especially when you have.
Maybe start doing Greenwich Radio, huh?
Yeah, you should. We have our Greenwich Radio and web TV, so you should definitely give some time to that, and that would be wonderful. So once again, thank you so much. It was wonderful having a conversation with you. I got to learn so much. Our students, our viewers got to learn so much, and I really hope that these testing times get through. We see a brighter future, a brighter Pakistan, and all the problems that we discussed, they just fade away like the dust, and we have a new sunrise, a new day tomorrow. So once again, thank you so much.
Stay safe, stay home.
Right. Right, guys. So that was Karim Teli. You heard him and all the brilliant things he had to say, all the brilliant advices he had to give to our young students who wants to get into entrepreneurship, who wants to get into businesses. And that was all for our session today. We'll be back tomorrow with another session, another guest, another topic. If you want us to talk on any topic, you can always leave your feedback in the comments, and we definitely do a program on the given topic. Before we leave, stay safe, stay home, and Pakistan Zindabad.